We welcome you to Tampa Bay, where the Gainbridge Super League season reaches its boiling point. The defending champion Tampa Bay Sun FC hosts playoff hopeful Dallas Trinity FC, and tonight's match is presented by Tampa General Hospital. We say hello and welcome from Suncoast Credit Union Field. Alongside Brooke Kirchhoffer, I'm Sam Goldfarb. Let's take a look at the Gainbridge Super League table. As things stand at the moment, Tampa Bay Sun eliminated, but Dallas Trinity right in the thick of the playoff hunt. A win and a Spokane defeat allows them to clinch the fourth and final playoff spot at the end of the match day. So this fixture critical as we head into this weekend. And Brooke, this as well is a rematch of last year's Gainbridge Super League semifinal. Tampa ending Dallas' season a year ago and a chance to derail it here tonight.
And Tampa Bay has matched up really well against Dallas, unbeaten against the Trinity this season, but this will be a much different match tonight in terms of personnel. Dallas, it's an uphill battle without two of their strongest midfielders in Winnie Bellata and Heather Stainbrook still out with injuries. And then this Tampa Bay shape, which is going to be a new look for Dallas in a 5-2-3. Tampa Bay really wants to exploit the spaces between the fullback and center back. Look for that to be a key to success for Tampa Bay.
You look at those numbers on your screen from the semifinal fixture. Tampa with the slight shot advantage, a possessional disadvantage, but they're changing the shape to your point. This is a different type of approach from the matchup we saw a season ago. In terms of key players for Tampa Bay Sun, they have struggled going forward this year, but Shay Connors has provided some punch.
What a big ad from Sydney FC. High praise from Denise Schulte-Brown, saying she was the dynamic striker that they've been missing. She's fast, physical, makes good decisions, and if she's got an open lane, she's going to take the space in front of her. Cannot leave her out on an island tonight if you're Dallas.
Scored the equalizer late against Carolina Ascent. They ultimately wound up falling 2-1, but this was a big goal at home a couple weeks ago.
One of the reasons why she's so effective is you see that great positioning. She's where you need her to be and really strong in where she finishes her runs, really savvy on that front line.
Well, on the other end of things, this is a Dallas Trinity side that is lacking goals of late. Nathan Thackeray says someone like Jasmine Hamid could provide them.
Speed, speed, and more speed is Jasmine Hamid. And she had a one-on-one conversation with her head coach, Nathan Thackeray, this week, and brought her in to be a difference maker, and they've been encouraging her to be that player to get to another gear, especially with the playoffs still on the line. Want to showcase that speed I was talking about and her ability against Tampa Bay.
We'll see how she fares tonight. We're just about ready to get everything underway here from Tampa Bay. It is the Sun and Dallas Trinity for the third and final time this year as Tampa Bay closes out its home slate. Stick with us on Peacock, lineups and kickoff when we return.
Why does academic medicine matter? Because at Tampa General, the best medicine starts with the best science. Like our cutting-edge research that helped develop computerized devices to treat epilepsy and Parkinson's, restoring normal brain function and ending tremors. That's the academic difference every day at the region's only academic health system. Tampa General. Other hospitals practice medicine. We define it. For over 50 years, Tampa General and the USF Health Morsani College of Medicine have partnered to innovate and elevate academic medicine. We train over 800 residents and fellows annually, participate in thousands of research studies, and are the region's only Level 1 trauma center. That's the power of a proven partnership at the region's only academic health system, Tampa General. Other hospitals practice medicine. We define it.
Caitlin Clark, amazing at assists. Gainbridge, the ultimate assist for your savings. But ever since they teamed up, she's taken assisting to a whole new level. Caitlin Clark, great at assists. Gainbridge, great at assists for your savings.
We all have goals. But let's be honest, most of us aren't going to be professional athletes. But if your goal is to finish your degree, we can help. Come to a university that puts your goals first. Bellevue University, your partner in finishing goals.
We welcome you back to Suncoast Credit Union Field for this Gainbridge Super League fixture that is presented by Tampa General, which is the region's only academic health system, which means at TGH you have an expert team of doctors and physician scientists collaborating on your care, pioneering research in their fields, using the most advanced technology and teaching the next generation. Tampa General, other hospitals practice medicine. We define it. It's now time you get a look at our starting lineups here from Tampa Bay, starting with Tampa Bay Sun, unchanged from the victory over Fort Lauderdale last week.
Very different look for Tampa Bay as we've seen in these last few matches, switching to this 5-2-3, circling in on Sydney Nacello, and she's going to have opportunities for those through runs through the fullback and center back. They want to try and attack and overload those outside channels with 3 central forwards, and we say that as Denise Schulte-Brown told us, but we'll see Connors, who's really more of that true 9.
She has a goal to her name in the first 2 appearances in Tampa Bay colors. On the opposite end of things for Nathan Thackeray, 3 changes from that critical draw at DC last Friday night. McCamey between the sticks.
Most importantly, coming down the pipeline today, finding out that Lauren Flynn is out. Hannah Davidson will get the start for Lauren Flynn in the center back role. She's been training like someone who has something to prove. Her role changed a bit with the coaching change. Has an opportunity now to impress tonight with the playoffs on the line. Also, we welcome Allie Thornton and Sydney Cheeseman to the starting lineup.
Changes in defense, as you mentioned, Flynn being the late scratch. We'll see how Hannah Davison fares. Well, obviously this match carries key stakes for Dallas, a side that if they win can clinch a playoff berth tonight. Now they would need to rely on a Spokane loss against DC, that match at 10:30. And we are underway here from Suncoast Credit Union Field. This is a key one. Tampa Bay looking to play spoiler against Dallas for the 2nd consecutive year. Dallas hoping to kickstart its quest for a 2nd consecutive playoff berth. Sam Goldfarb alongside Brooke Kirchhofer. This is one of the bigger ones in the match week in the Gainbridge Super League. This match definitely carries a unique backdrop, Brooke. Obviously for Dallas, strong fall campaign, but only 3 wins in 13 matches in the spring. Nathan Thackeray taking over and saying that his side is still adapting to a new style of play.
Well, and you got to feel bad for Dallas, as it's really been patchwork trying to figure out who's in the starting lineup week in and week out because of all of the injuries. And of course, we talked about the big misses with Bellotta and Stainbrook in that midfield line, what they provide on both ends of the ball. Not having that commanding voice and the veteran presence has been missed for Dallas.
And you also mentioned the injuries on the back line in particular and in the midfield. Without Stainbrook and without Bellotta, Sydney Cheeseman is starting in a defensive midfield role despite being more of a natural fullback center back hybrid. So that is another adjustment that Dallas Trinity has to make heading into this fixture. And
as we heard from Thackeray, that Hannah Davidson and Sydney Cheeseman, we might see them interchange depending how this kind of unfolds, how they play against this Tampa Bay Sun lineup. We could see them switch positions too.
Well, they play this forward here, and it's an early chance that's taken by Dallas. It's a sensational start, and the Trinity lead inside 2 minutes.
Dallas wasting no time getting on the board within the opening 2 minutes, and this is that through ball that Dallas has been looking for, and it is Samar Guidry who beats Mitchell up that right side. Beautiful ball to that back post. Beardsley, who's coming off a save of the month type of performance, and Guidry makes her pay.
There was no chance there, and Samar Guidry with her first professional goal. What a way to open your account in her rookie season, provides Dallas Trinity with their early opener. Well, it's her 2nd year with Dallas Trinity, excuse me, but inside the opening 2 minutes, Samar Guidry opens the scoring for the visitors. And Tampa forced to go back to the drawing board as Helferty's ball over the top is picked up by McNeil. Cuts this back to Helferty. And the heavy touch runs out of play. We wondered how Tampa would fare in a scenario like this. They've known their fate for a couple weeks now, eliminated from the playoffs. And Denise Schulte-Brown saying that at the end of the day, this is about playing for pride and playing for your reputation. And last week against Fort Lauderdale United, they were 2-1 victors, but here a really shaky start and plenty of work to do.
I think if you're Tampa Bay, it's just a tough position to be in. Obviously, a lot of these players want to just end the season out on the right way, and of course, being the champions of the inaugural Gainbridge Super League season. But Dallas Trinity with so much to play for, and when we talked with Nathan Thackeray this week, he gave us a couple names of players he thinks who could step up, and then here we see Samar Gidring come out of nowhere and says, I'll put the team on my back. Opening 5 minutes puts one away from range.
And as we mentioned, her first professional goal, someone who was a standout defender at the University of Virginia for 5 years before signing that first pro contract with the Trinity a year ago. It's pretty much been a mainstay since joining Dallas at fullback, but not necessarily known for getting forward. She shows her abilities there in a must-win fixture for the visitors here.
And her first goal with the Dallas Trinity, so impressive. She's been in on a couple of goal-scoring moments, 2 assists with Dallas. Now she gets to put one of her own on the board.
Let's see how Dallas builds on that. This is a side that has only defeated Tampa Bay Sun once in their previous 7 meetings. Here's Haugen. It's an errant back pass, and it's pounced upon. This is Lancaster driving forward for Dallas. Loses her footing in the area, and our referee is unmoved by the challenge. Marie Durr tells everyone to continue playing.
That's where Lancaster can just be so dangerous up top. Makes you pay on just a mistimed ball and not able to get all the way forward and put a shot on frame, but she's always hunting those opportunities and breaking into those lanes.
Presents an opportunity for Dallas to restart, and they'll take the throw short. McCutcheon. Davison forward, getting a spot start in place of the injured Lauren Flynn, a late scratch entering the night, as we mentioned in the lineups. Next woman up mentality now for Dallas Trinity, and Nathan Thackeray saying to us that Davison's been itching to play, and now she gets her chance. Helferty. Sprayed long. It is collected by Jamona. Has options in the area as well. Helferty. Just her 3rd start in Tampa Bay colors. Jamona arcs in across, and it is collected comfortably by Tyler McCamey.
You see, even in an awkward position, Jamona is still able to find a way to deliver a ball that's dangerous for Dallas Trinity's back line, and credit to Dallas's goalkeeper being where she needed to be, and Tyler McCamey cleaning that up.
Get your first look at Denise Schulte-Brown, obviously leading Tampa Bay Sun to the title a year ago, defeating Dallas Trinity on the way before winning on home soil against Fort Lauderdale. But these are much different scenarios in the 25-26 Super League campaign. Already know their fate. They've been eliminated, but she herself is saying it's about playing for your professional reputation, playing for pride. We're a group that wants to still win, as that is a physical defending job that just about stymies the attack for Dallas.
Great work from Tampa Bay as well to break up that transition moment for Dallas. They had the numbers forward, but were able to track back just in time to blow up that play.
On the other side of things, we mentioned Nathan Thackeray a few times. This is his first season at the helm, joining and taking over the side in late January, ahead of the spring slate, playing a more vertical, direct style that his players are still trying to adjust to.
Yeah, he's not shy about the style of play that he wanted to bring to Dallas. I think it maybe rocked the team a little bit to start because it was such a change in philosophy. It's also incredibly competitive each training session. He said, you're playing for your spot every single time you're on the pitch in these training sessions. And as we've seen, some players have rose to the occasion, some have lost some starting roles, but I think they're on the right path to being the team that they want to be competing now in a spot for that 4th playoff spot.
Cheeseman. Hamid. And when talking to him, he said, I don't want a team that picks itself. I don't want the players to be able to predict who's going to start, because obviously that breeds some complacency. So for us, it's about having that culture of competition and having a deep squad. And he feels they do have that, and they are, despite the injuries, more than capable of qualifying for the postseason.
Yeah, I love what he said too. He goes, I know that that's not going to be well liked, but
Connors is in here. A chance for Tampa Bay. Shea Connors just wide.
Shea Connors just showing off how she can be so effective. The cutback to get away and get some space off of that Dallas defender was exactly what she needed to do, but as we saw, their center back for Dallas was able to get back in time and cut that one off. What an impressive showing from Dallas's back line to make it just challenging for Tampa Bay at home to be effective in the attacking third.
It is a Dallas side that is looking to cut down on the amount of goals it's conceding as well. 40 goals allowed, that's 3rd most in the league. Tampa not much better. In fact, they're conceding the 2nd most with 43. So this match could have some goals in it, as historically these matchups have tended to have. Here's the goal scorer, Guidry. It's a one-touch ball that's broken up by Helferty. Only as far as Cheeseman, though. Broken up by Dory Hauken. Well, Brooke, 10 minutes in, Dallas clearly the protagonist, but we've seen Tampa Bay threaten in transition.
And really on the flip side of things, Dallas was expecting to have to stop those transitional moments from Tampa Bay, especially with how expansive they want to get in their shape. Dallas has done a really good job of disrupting Tampa Bay's midfield and getting forward. Tampa Bay highlighted this week, though, that press triggers and having varied press triggers was going to be the focus for preparing for Dallas, but right now they're still trying to settle in.
That was a big point of emphasis from Denise Schulte-Brown, to your point. They want the 3 forwards to press in unison, and she felt at halftime of that Fort Lauderdale match last weekend they weren't quite doing that. Didn't concede chances off it, but looked vulnerable. And then in the second half, she felt that they honed in on that much better. Obviously scored twice before conceding late, and all in all was very pleased with the performance she saw, despite them knowing their fate. It's an overzealous challenge from Shea Connors.
Dallas being able to put that goal away so early has really allowed them to settle in and have the control, not having to force it. You see they continue to recycle and reset if they don't like the side that they are progressing through, and a credit to their back line, who, as we talked about, patchworking together lineups week in and week out. They have a lot of new faces on that back line tonight.
The interesting mental debate that I'm sure will be going on amongst the Dallas players and Nathan Thackeray as well is, now that you're up away from home, how much do you balance the desire to kill the match off and score more versus see out this result on the road and not afford them transition opportunities?
Well, it helps when you have a veteran who just had the ball at her feet, and Amber Wisner, who has been in these moments before and can kind of usher that back line and usher how they build forward. As you see, she kind of stays more on the defensive side of things, midfielder, but will float where she needs to be placed. And I think if you're Nathan Thackeray, maybe she's someone that you hold back now with this 1-0 lead.
Guidry into the box. Cross deflected out of play for a corner. That is a good point. Amber Wisner is one of the best defensive midfielders in the league. Years in the NWSL, and this may be her final season from what we're hearing,
well,
but they want to keep her around.
Sadly, she has said that this will be it for her, but Nathan Thackeray has better ideas. He was telling us this week that at alumni or season ticket holder events, they got a chant going, one more year, and I don't think she was buying it.
We'll see how she feels at the end of the season, depending on how this run goes.
We just see how strong she is, even at this part of her career, able to withstand 90 minutes night in and night out.
There's a corner here for the Trinity. It's an outswinger, just over the head of Davison. Run down by Hamid. Takes on her defender with the confidence she espouses and goes for goal. Does draw a palm out of Liz Beardsley.
What a save from Liz Beardsley. You saw that ball just dropped in last minute, read it very well. Decided to go up and over, not take any risk with trying to hold that one in. Here you see Jasmine Hamid chomping at the bit to put another one away. Such a clever bend on the ball to try to drop it in right behind the goalkeeper, and a quality save from Liz Beardsley.
And another corner for Tampa Bay to weather. Houston Dash Loney doing her job at the first time of asking.
Also, too, to continue that Amber Wisner conversation, quality of play has not dipped at all. So that's why I think you want her still around.
This curls to the back post and is headed over. It is remarkable the level she's produced in a professional career that has spanned quite some time.
Just an unbelievable player who you can't replace. And even on the coaching ranks, they talked about maybe potentially having those conversations in the future, that she's still a part of Dallas Trinity, maybe in that way. I'm sure they would love to have her around and usher along this next generation in what will be year 3 of the Gainbridge Super League.
It's her 14th season as a pro. Played in the NWSL for quite some time as well. Has plenty of knowledge that she can pass along to her soon-to-be former teammates. This is played forward towards Connors. And McCutcheon first to it. There's your first look at Tyler McCamey, joining from Kansas City Current in January. Has been the mainstay throughout the spring season. Nathan Thackeray calling her the team's steady Eddie between the sticks. Big presence at 24 years of age for Dallas, and someone that has posted impressive save numbers despite the fact that she's been tested a fair bit.
And they're still asking more from her. They want to see her be a bit more dangerous when they are in on the attack. Want to see her come off her line a little bit and get more involved in possession.
Offside flag is raised against Tampa on that occasion. Well, fans, Select, the official match ball supplier of the Gainbridge Super League and many elite leagues throughout Europe. Visit us.select-sport.com for the latest Select product specials and more. Select, the player's choice. Just over a quarter of an hour in, Sam Goldfarb, Brooke Kirchhoff are on hand for this key fixture between Dallas Trinity and Tampa Bay Sun. Early advantage courtesy of Samar Guidry's second-minute banger from outside the box. Could hardly catch our breath before Dallas was 1-0 up. And a reminder that if Dallas wins and Spokane Zephyr loses to DC Power later tonight, they would clinch that 4th and final Gainbridge Super League playoff berth. So real stakes at play here for the Trinity if they are to see this out. There's Hinson. It seems like Tampa's played very Route 1. They do snatch it back here, but hasn't exactly borne fruit for the Sun just yet.
They've had to skip lines, and it's because of that shape in the 5-2-3 is you really can't play through your midfield line as much as you would like to, just because of the number disadvantage in the middle of the pitch. I think that's why you're seeing more of that direct play, trying to feed it into the outside channels for players that you know have the legs to get there, like a Carly Jamona and Sydney Nacello, who you can send a ball forward and expect them to run it down.
They have a chance on a set piece here to ask questions. It's overhit for everybody. Brooke, why do you think Dallas has been able to control this so much through the opening 15 and change?
I mean, I said it at the beginning, but I think when you can put away a goal early on the road, it kind of just takes the wind out of your sails for the home side. And Tampa Bay, we've seen more of that direct style of play, trying to find an answer, and not as quality as play as they would probably like, but for Dallas, they've just done such a good job in that little bit of a lower block. And when they get forward, look how many numbers get forward in behind as well on this middle line, making sure that there's help every time, like a Jasmine Hamid when she needs an outlet here.
It's a good cross from Hamid. That one is too tight on Beardsley.
And two, Dallas is just playing for more. You're seeing a side that really wants to keep their season alive, claim that 4th seed. They would wish that it was in their hands, but right now they need some help from Spokane, and it's the 2nd year in a row that their postseason hopes run through Tampa Bay.
This is a concern here. Dory Haugen, the former North Carolina Courage standout who joined the Sun last winter, is prone on the pitch. She's been a mainstay at fullback or wingback since joining the club. Some shaking up on this near side.
Injuries have not just plagued Dallas this season, but Tampa Bay as well. A lot of players they would have liked to seen more of, and Ayuki Watari, Parker Goins, Hannah Keene. I mean, list of 6 that are currently out right now due to injury that they really didn't get to see much of this season, and so not a deep bench in terms of depth.
It is certainly a depleted Tampa Bay side. Here's a look at the injury concern.
I think just an awkward fall.
Didn't look like there was much contact involved, which appears scarier on second time of viewing, but we hope that Dory Haugen's all right. Well, there is Denise Schulte-Brown, who is doing a tactical refresh with her side here. This is not the most ideal of circumstances for Tampa. Obviously, they have been eliminated from playoff contention, 4 straight defeats before that victory over Fort Lauderdale last week. But they showed some real spirit and fight in that fixture. As Dory Haugen is back to her feet and receives a loud ovation from the fans.
Man, your heart breaks for her. We did see that Thackeray had an opportunity to talk with Cam Lassiter off to the side, and still wanting to see more from her. Says that she's been competing to be in that starting lineup every day, had a meeting with her about what they want to see, and it's that continued ruthlessness that they want to see from Cam Lassiter. And so just a brief conversation off to the side with Thackeray. You see if anything changes after this injury stoppage time.
Dory Haugen exits. Our thoughts go out to her. Obviously such a key presence for Tampa Bay Sun. The night comes to a premature conclusion though. There's a change taking place as a result. It's Jilly Shimkin who will replace her.
11, Jilly Shimkin. She replaces the injured Dory Haugen. This substitution comes in the 23rd minute.
Shimkin, 23-year-old, who joined after a strong college career that came to a close at the University of Texas. Goal and 2 assists to her name through her first 21 appearances with the side. Has bounced in and out of the lineup throughout her time with Tampa. So she gets a chance here in place of Haugen. Midway through this first half, a narrow 1-0 advantage for Dallas Trinity. The goal came on 2 minutes from Samar Guidry.
This will be an adjustment too for Shimkin as a midfielder, having to play that outside back position. Going to be a lot of communication. That's going to be important from her center back to make sure that she doesn't get too expansive and get forward too much, which are going to be some of her midfield tendencies. Make sure she stays connected to that back line.
To your point, Shimkin more used to playing on that front 3 or up front, so she'll be slotted into this wing back role and forced to adapt on the fly. Tampa's depth has been hampered by injuries for the better part of the spring.
Well, and that could be a good thing for Tampa, especially when they're trying to get forward with playing a 5 back, is when you would need to get those numbers forward and up the channels quickly, and Shimkin can be that player.
Shifts it long here. It's given away by Jamona, who scored the winner in that semifinal meeting against Dallas Trinity. Also scored the winner the last time these two sides met in late March, that of the Cotton Bowl. 85th minute tally after a pretty costly error trying to play out of the back by the Trinity.
Unlucky there for Tampa Bay. What a quality tackle we saw from Brooke Hendricks to get that transitional moment going, and it's that final third that's been the missing piece so far through these first 24 minutes from Tampa Bay. We've seen moments, one quality shot from Tampa Bay, but outside of that, they have really struggled to connect those pieces in the final third.
Have yet to truly test Tyler McCamey. Nasello hoping to change that, and she would be the most likely candidate. It's a dipping cross. Nearly fell for Shea Connors. It scuffled away.
I think you would have liked to see Shea Connors welcome that contact there and run through the ball. Saw a little bit of hesitation as Dallas was looking to clear that one up and away.
Tampa Bay starting to turn the tide a touch possessionally. Jamona evading challenges. Switches the play to Shimkin. Back for Jamona. Overcooked it.
Oh, what a great ball back to set up Carly Jamona in stride. I would have liked to have seen Sabrina McNeil, though, split the defenders. It was on for her to go, to have a little bit of a through ball up that left side, but smart play by Tampa Bay. Didn't have it on the left side. They switch attack to that right side, and Shimkin now tries to lay up Jamona, who just couldn't get over it enough.
She's had plenty of success against Dallas in her career with Tampa Bay Sun. Someone with 5 goals to her name this season. One of them, as we mentioned, came against the Trinity, as that's a bit of nervy play from Tampa.
Carly Jamona always catches teams by surprise too, because of that motor, and covers so much ground night in and night out. We're not playing for as much. They're playing for pride at this point, but we still see that that motor is still at a high rate for Jamona, trying to make an impact in this one.
There's a crafty turn from Strawn. Looks to send Lancaster rushing the other way. Cameron Lancaster looking for an angle to shoot, and rustles the back of the net. Dallas doubling the lead on 27 minutes, and Cameron Lancaster is the woman who strikes the back of the net.
Do I have deja vu? Because that looked exactly like Samar Guidry's opportunity in that opening minute, and now Cam Lancaster takes a page out of her teammate's book, and you see Jasmine Hamid celebrating on that left side. A great cut to the right to offset and unbalance the defender, and just a beautiful strike on the ball once again to that back post, really leaving Tampa Bay's goalkeeper without much to do. Liz Beardsley giving up really the same goal twice, and not much you can do on that one. It was just perfectly placed to that back post.
Beardsley did get part of a glove to it, but to your point, so much force behind that. And Cameron Lancaster puts Dallas in a very favorable spot. 2 goals to the good inside 30 minutes, and that against the grain when it looked like Tampa was starting to have a good moment on the ball.
Hey, if it works, keep going back to it. And obviously, Samar Guidry really opened it up for her teammates early, recognizing that it's on up that right channel. They've got forwards on their front line who just love those 1v1 opportunities and aren't afraid to take anybody on.
Lancaster's 4th of the season, a product of TCU, who joined the Trinity ahead of last spring's slate. And we spoke to Nathan Thackeray about her trying to carve out a consistent role in the 11 under his tutelage. She's kind of bounced in and out of the lineup more than she's used to under new management, but met with him in his office this week. Has mentioned that it's her desire to play week in, week out, and that goes a long way to ensuring your spot in the 11 going forward here.
Just a quality player, and even he told us she's exactly what a head coach wants in a player. Great attitude, offers quality when she's out on the pitch, and just a threat in those one-on-one opportunities.
She was a star at TCU, ended her career top 3 in program history in both assists and points. And started to carry over some of that production to the professional game as well. Well, Brooke, they were looking for goals. 2 in the first half certainly does the trick.
Highly efficient too, only 4 shots, 3 on target for Dallas Trinity. We talked with Thackeray about how to get the production up from their recent matches below 10 shots on goal, or below 10 shots total as a team these last few weeks out. And man, he had a conversation, a couple of one-on-one conversations with several players this week, and they are certainly answering that challenge.
Around 30 minutes. For those just joining us, Dallas Trinity 2-0 to the good against a side they've only beaten once in their history as a club. Goals by Samar Guidry and Cameron Lancaster making the difference, and Dallas definitive in the final third so far. Hinson, one of the veteran presences for Dallas, loses out to Nasello, who has been the standout throughout her 2 years with Tampa Bay Sun.
Yeah,
Shimkin.
just when you think you can build and she's not around, she shows up there with an opportunity to get forward.
She's quite the goal scorer. 6 goals to her name this year, and of course last season even more productive than that. Had the assist on that extra time winner in the Gainbridge Super League final on this very ground last season. Someone who isn't necessarily used to being in this position, eliminated from the playoffs. Someone who throughout her college and professional career has been playing for trophies. That's been what she's grown accustomed to.
She's so hard to prepare for too because of the size and the speed, and really when you look at the match results, you look at the heat map, she's just about everywhere. You can't really follow her around with the runs that she makes. She just is so effective in building, and this certainly isn't what you want to see for Dallas.
Another player down, this time on the Dallas side. It is Sealy Strawn, the 18-year-old, who's been a revelation for the Trinity this season.
Oh man, I think just an awkward hit right to her lower back. Both trying to win it in the air, and Sealy Strawn might have gotten a knock in the lower back, and then also when her head hit the turf.
Some concern on the Dallas touchline now. Sealy Strawn, one of the top young players with Dallas Trinity, who's set to play college soccer at University of North Carolina next year. Amber Wisner, meanwhile, was booked after that interchange. So the first woman in the book for either side.
I think just is sticking up for her teammate after a Tough challenge in the air.
Card to Dallas number 22, Amber Weisner, in the 32nd minute.
Strawn being tended to by the physios. She's enjoyed a strong second season for Dallas Trinity. A trio of goals after scoring 4 a year ago. Appears content to continue, which is a welcome sight for Dallas fans.
Yeah, I have to give the proper concussion protocol with how much she was holding on to the back of her head, but looks like she's going to be able to enter back in after this moment.
Strawn is good to keep going, so she's cleared any sort of concussion assessment. Business end now of this first half. As things stand, Dallas with a vice grip on this. A victory tonight, accompanied by a Spokane defeat against DC at 10:30, would mean that Dallas is the fourth and final team into the postseason. Fell in the semifinals as the 3 seed a year ago to this very Tampa Bay Sun side, despite scoring first in that game. This is their chance for a slight measure of revenge to push them back toward the postseason, as that's cleared away by Davison.
Nice idea, though, by Jillian Shimkin, recognizing that open channel for Connors to try to run through, but well defended in the end. Look at an opportunity with the set piece.
It's a corner taken short. Helferty. Nacello into the mixer. Still loose and finally cleared away.
Tampa Bay's getting closer and closer to putting it together in the final third, though. They're starting to see how they can break apart this Dallas back line and what channels to play through.
It's a good ball from Shimkin. She looks like she's taken to that wingback role quite naturally here.
Certainly helping getting in on the attack.
There's this cross. You do wonder how she'll fare when there's a winger sprinting at her the other direction, for sure.
I think because of their shape, though, too, you can afford for her to stay forward and a little higher off that back line.
Hamid. Comes to Allie Thornton, last year's Gainbridge Super League Golden Boot winner with 13 goals. Hasn't quite replicated those heights this year, but is still always a threat for the Trinity.
Been more of the hold-up player on that front line, creating more opportunities for her teammates rather than building those opportunities to strike herself. But I think that quality is something that Nathan Thackeray is helping her grow into, as well as how are you contributing if it's not in goals.
And also Nathan Thackeray emphasizing a more ball-dominant, goal-oriented approach. So as a result, forwards asked to play more hold-up than perhaps she would have been a year ago.
Still quality, though. 3 goals so far this season, and looking to add to this 2-0 tally in the first half.
Listro. She's the one-woman wrecking crew at times in midfield for Tampa.
And also on the headset, too. I don't know how she does it.
Does
An
a little bit of
analyst as
everything.
well. So impressive. Wonder how much film she goes through during the week. Film of the matches that she's going to be calling, and also film of the one she's playing in, too, and preparing for.
You have to really love the sport to be able to do both simultaneously.
Well, we've got our former teammate Erica Timbrack as well here in the building, and we love the addition of those two to this side of the industry on the broadcasting side.
Erica Timrak mentioned that Jordan Listro's the teammate she hated going up against most in training, as there is a yellow card shown on cue to Listro. She's no stranger to that either.
Physicality is definitely a part of her game she is not shy about. Good and bad.
That is the byproduct when you are a ball-winning midfielder. Well, full circle, talking about her double life, so to speak, as a broadcaster and a footballer, and the yellow card comes out.
From what I understand, you cannot get those on the broadcast side of things. Only on the pitch.
I'd hope not. It would be interesting to see how many times we've been booked, though. Final stages of this first half. Pair of goals for Samar Guidry and Cameron Lancaster, both on the right flank, making the difference. We've said it a few times, we'll continue to say it throughout the broadcast. This carries major stakes in the Gainbridge Super League playoff chase, because if Dallas wins and DC defeats Spokane later tonight, Dallas clinches the final playoff spot. The first three have already been locked down by Sporting Jacks Lexington and Carolina Ascent. It is just that fourth and final spot up for grabs amongst three squads entering the penultimate match day. It's a first-time ball that runs out of play.
Seeley Strawn looking to give Lancaster an opportunity to run forward, but no need to stress here if you're Dallas. And you saw on that last build out from the back, Sydney Cheeseman speaking to her teammates, settle in, settle down, no need to do anything that would stress this first half, have a comfortable 2-0 lead, continue to just control the game and not allow Tampa Bay to have those strong transitional moments that we have seen so far this season. And so far, Trinity's really handled that well.
That was a big point of emphasis. Nathan Thackeray said to us probably 2 or 3 times on the phone this week, controlling transition moments, not letting Nasello especially get out on the break.
The other big piece too was drawing them out of position, and we clearly saw that the last 2 trips up the pitch that led to these 2 goals for Dallas is attacking that left back, making her be a little bit more inverted, and then it was a touch around her and an opportunity for a long distance strike is why Dallas is up 2-0. They've done a really good job of stressing their back line and pulling them out of position.
Second goal as well went from their defensive third to the attacking third in seemingly a blink. All in all, it feels like a perfect opening 40 minutes for Nathan Thackeray. Strawn. Broken up that time. The referee waves play on, surprisingly.
And you see how much space that Dallas isn't utilizing up the left side of the pitch. I know they're strong up that right side, but use what's given you, and Tampa Bay has left that middle to left side wide open for Dallas to play through.
Here's Guidry. Wisner. Jamona, hoping to kickstart something the other way for Tampa. Definitely look more confident on it. The question is, can they pick apart Dallas before the break and find an avenue back into this? Shown signs of life, though, since conceding the opener especially. Shimkin. Listro breaks it up, as she does so effortlessly, so frequently.
Dallas has just done a really good job of keeping Tampa Bay in front of them, dictating out of possession, which has just been such quality play to see from Dallas's side. They want to be an in-possession group that is direct and gets forward quickly, but to see them defend out of possession is certainly a positive they can take into halftime.
Helferty. Right for Jamona, who's probably been the brightest performer for Tampa Bay in this first half. Links with Nasello.
how do they get Jamona open in space? And you can see the desperation to do that here.
She plays in a cross. It's an appetizing one that is headed away at the near post.
And Cindy Nasello is so good about recognizing where Jamona wants the ball and where she can be most advantageous. And when you can get those two up that left side, boy, they're dangerous.
The freedom Nasello has to roam from side to side definitely seems to be an unpredictable element for defenders.
That's why Denise Schulte-Brown just loves her so much. Obviously, coaching her in the college ranks as well. Very familiar with her ability and just a joy as she tells us to coach.
Coached her at USF, joked that she'd seemingly been coaching her for 100 years. Hamid. It's a vertical ball that is broken up by Hendricks. If Dallas could find a third before the break, it would seemingly all but wrap it up. 90 seconds of the initial 45, although we should have a fair bit of stoppage time to accompany us.
They've almost switched to when they're in the attack to a 3-3-4, which has really stressed Tampa Bay's back line, but why not? With the shape that they're in a 5-2-3, you can afford pulling a number off of that back line and putting it on the front line to try and just match up a little bit better against Tampa Bay.
Well, fans, 3 teams have punched their ticket into the Gainbridge Super League playoffs, but the season is far from over. To stay up to date on all of the latest information, analysis, and insight, visit GainbridgeSuperLeague.com. Still plenty to play for. Dallas looking to take one massive step towards that 4th and final playoff spot. They have 1 foot in the victor's column here. There's Cheeseman, who looks long. Castor was chasing, but behind it.
Man, if there's going to be one conversation at halftime, it's going to be Sierra Hinson walking into the locker room and saying, "Find me on the left side." They've left her wide open. I can see that she's calling for the ball. I know Dallas feels they have such strong athleticism up that right side of the pitch with some of the players that they can feature on that side, but when it's wide open like that, take the opportunity in the space.
Probably so focused on the right side, given both goals have come from there, that they've left her exposed on the opposite flank. Unmarked, I should say.
Yeah, Sydney Cheeseman and Sierra Hinson can definitely make sure that that is communicated at halftime and utilize that space against Tampa Bay and try to continue to build upon this lead.
7 minutes of stoppage time separate us from intermission, so still plenty of action left to sort out in this first half. Tampa's played themselves into a spot of bother here.
Yeah, it's been tough for Tampa Bay as they're trying to build out of the back. The outlet runs are just not there from that midfield line, just a step too late. And seeing just more of those clearances that are struggling to keep in play. Clearances outside of the pitch leading to these throw-ins.
If you're Denise Schulte-Brown, what is the biggest topic of your team talk at halftime?
I think she might make an adjustment in terms of their shape, and you see that Shimkin has had opportunities to get forward, so I think maybe a change in shape, but also too that the opportunities have been there. They just have to be a little bit more connected between the lines when they get forward and not just sending these balls into the outside channels, because eventually the legs are going to run out.
See how she tweaks tactics at intermission. Hamid.
I don't think they've really established too a true press trigger, because Dallas has just been so in control in and out of possession that I think that's also going to be a conversation for Tampa Bay, is where can they put the most pressure on Dallas when they want to have those transition moments, because that is where Tampa Bay is such a threat when they can catch you on that high press and have a 1v1 opportunity with the goalkeeper.
Do you feel they've looked hesitant to press as well at times?
I just think they haven't been in control to be able to do so. They've been a little bit out of position. Certainly a lot of things to clean up at halftime.
We'll see if they can get there with the scoreline intact, or maybe throw a plot twist into things. Dallas has certainly been the protagonist and the more effective side in the final third. McCamey looks long.
And for Tampa Bay, only 51% passing accuracy in Dallas this half. I mean, that's just challenging to try and establish field positioning and trying to attack a team that's just done really well at breaking up every moment that they've had to get forward.
It does feel like they've been forced to resort to route one play a lot as well, which obviously doesn't bode well for your passing percentage by any means.
Not at all.
Hinson. There you go. Touch of the ball for Hinson.
I think she'd like it going the opposite way, trying to get forward more in those created chances, but quality player on the back line in terms of their build out, which has been, up until now, I would say that's probably the most dangerous we've seen, that build out of the back, but feeling really confident if you're Dallas at this point.
They look long that time for Hamid. Well, Hinson is one of the more experienced presences in the back line, 28 years old. This is a Dallas Trinity side with an average age in the 11 tonight of 25.7. This is a league known for developing a lot of young talent throughout the women's game. Hinson is one of the veteran presences in the division.
Unlucky, great little passing pattern there in that left channel. Hinson just a bit too much on the end of it, trying to feed it to Allie Thornton.
Here's Shimkin the other direction. He's had moments on the ball since coming on for sure. She wins that physical tussle with Cheeseman. Connors rounding Davison, going for goal, but rockets it right at McCamey. That, though, Tampa's best chance to date.
You see McCamey has done a good job, too, of not coming off of her six that often, has been a bit more conservative on her back line, which I know that Nathan Thackeray has wanted to see her come off her line a bit more often, but I'm sure he's fine with this one, and she has kept her net clean so far in this first half.
It's hardly put a foot wrong. It's hardly been on the ball, though. To Dallas's credit, they've been ironclad defensively thus far.
Yeah, really no need for her to be aggressive off her line. Her backline's done a really good job of cutting off the angles and feeding all of these shots to the position that she's in.
Inside the final 2 minutes of the added 7 in this first half. As things stand, Dallas will enter intermission with a commanding 2-0 lead and take a step closer to the postseason. Hamid chasing after this, and there is space to run into now on the left-hand side. What can she conjure here? Jasmine Hamid cuts inside, drives it goalward and cleared away before it can reach the goal mouth. Now Strawn, and the chance is lost, although that was pretty eyebrow-raising opportunity for the Trinity just before halftime.
Really well done. Carly Jamona running that down and cutting off Celie Strawn's opportunity. Really unbalanced her. She was looking to rip a shot, but what a ball from Jasmine Hamid. A great touch around the defender. Trying to find that back post, and well defended by Tampa Bay.
Every time it seems like Tampa Bay is starting to establish a foothold, Dallas has had a well-executed counter chance the other way. Lancaster's goal came from that. Just feels like they have this match under control in regards to chance creation, at least.
The runs have just been so timely for Dallas, which is why I think you see so many of these opportunities, and really only 4 shots from Dallas, but they're in position to be effective when the ball is in the attacking third.
Now Connors clips this in. No one there in blue to greet it. And the halftime whistle sounds. Pretty controlled so far for Dallas Trinity. A pair of goals from Samar Guidry and Cameron Lancaster inside the opening 30 minutes make the difference, Brooke. I think Nathan Thackeray has to be pleased with what he's seen.
Happy with the efficiency. 4 shots, 3 on target, 2 hit the back of the net. 2 of those shots came inside the box. Just really well done too, controlling the match in terms of in possession, really forcing Tampa Bay to chase. And then when Tampa Bay has had those transitional moments, Dallas has done a really good job of breaking them down and not allowing easy feeds into some of their star players like a Sidney DeCello and Carly Gimona. And Gimona did have an opportunity in that left channel. So far, though, it has been Dallas who has controlled this first half.
It is Dallas Trinity 2-0 to the good against Tampa Bay Sun. Plenty for Denise Schulte-Brown and company to talk over at intermission. Pair of goal scorers making the difference for Dallas as things stand. Samar Guidry and Cameron Lancaster are on the score sheet, and we, at the moment, are with Samar Guidry, whose second-minute strike makes all of the difference at the moment. Samar, how are you doing? How did that goal feel, your first professional tally?
It was so exciting. I feel like I've been waiting for one, and it was just perfectly lined up for me, and all I had to do was really just take it, so I'm excited.
Yeah, knocking on the door. Tell us what you saw in that moment.
I knew that my strong side 10 cam was coming low, so I knew I had to threaten zone 3, and that's what I did, and I was just hoping that the needle would thread through to me, and it got through to me, and I just tried to bury it.
Well, Cameron Lassiter took a page out of your book, essentially the same setup for her goal as well. What was it like to see her finally hit the back of the net as well? We know that she has been looking to add to her goal tally.
Yeah, I think the whole team is just rallying behind both of us, and we're both super excited, and it was great to watch her finish, and it's just like we drew it up in practice. So I think the whole team is just super excited that we're finally putting the product to what we've been working on.
Well, congratulations, Samar, on a great half, and best of luck for the remainder of these 90 minutes.
Thank you. Thank you.
Samar Guidry's second-minute strike was the initial tally. Cameron Lancaster doubled the lead 25 minutes later. And an intermission presented by Tampa General, a 2-0 lead for the visitors, Dallas Trinity, as they look to take a step closer to the postseason. We'll take a quick breather here on Peacock when we return a look around the Gainbridge Super League on our halftime show.
Jacksonville, what a magical run it's been in their inaugural season.
Unbelievable! Lexington did a double!
Carolina ascent on top.
Tremendous team goal for Power FC. Spokane on the scoreboard in a very important game for playoff positioning.
Today, we accomplished nothing. I mean it, not a thing. And it was kinda everything.
This spring, stay 3 nights and get a $50 Best Western gift card.
Prinks tires in the USL help soccer journeys everywhere to drive harder. From city playgrounds to suburban sidelines, from early mornings to late nights, from fun with friends to winner takes all, from the biggest fan to the biggest heart. And at every turn, Prinks tires will be there for the long haul.
Tampa General is the region's only academic health system and only Level 1 trauma center, which means we handle life-threatening injuries others can't. Our fellowship-trained surgeons specialize in trauma and work with experts from all areas of care to treat patients immediately. We handle the region's most trauma because we're uniquely built to save lives. Tampa General. Other hospitals practice medicine. We define it. When it comes to transplants, every organ wasted is a life not saved. But as the region's only academic health system, Tampa General is changing that. We're the global leader in using revolutionary technology that keeps donor organs functioning outside the body, so we can accept and recover more organs for more life-saving transplants, making us top 5 in the nation 3 years in a row. Tampa General. Other hospitals practice medicine. We define it.
Glenn couldn't have done it without me, and I couldn't have done it without him. He had his strengths, and I had my strengths, and that's how we succeeded.
There's a lot of care and time that goes into it, and a lot of work.
We were people lovers, and people seemed to like us too, so I think that was all part of our success.
It's definitely a work culture that we inherited that GB and Evelyn put into place, and it's our job just to make it better and keep it going and make it more successful.
We welcome you back to Tampa Bay, where at halftime in this Gainbridge Super League clash, Dallas Trinity 2-0 to the good against the defending champions. Gives us a chance to take a look around the Gainbridge Super League with some news and notes. Jacksonville now the first club in league history with 3 players scoring 10 or more goals in a season. Meanwhile, Kat Asman matching the league lead in shutouts. And then finally, we are in the midst of the race to the Gainbridge Super League playoffs. This match is at center stage. In terms of scores throughout the Gainbridge Super League, let's take a look at some of our standout live scores and results. As things stand, just one other match ongoing, 0-0 between Carolina Ascent and Fort Lauderdale.
Carolina already has put themselves in a position to be in the playoffs, but we know that Fort Lauderdale, very similar to Tampa Bay, playing with a lot of pride right now, want to finish it out the right way, and so a quality first half on that side.
We'll see how the second half unfolds. In terms of upcoming fixtures, we've already spoken about the importance of that Spokane match tonight, and given the scoreline in our game, that looks even more relevant now.
I would imagine that as soon as Dallas finishes this one, if the score stands and they are able to at least check one box with a victory, they will be tuned in to that Spokane DC Power match tonight, praying that Spokane gets it done so that it lifts, if DC Power gets it done and lifts them to that 4th spot.
We'll see if that is a relevant factor at the end of these 90 minutes. Here at halftime, Dallas Trinity is 45 minutes away from doing their side of the bargain. We'll see if they can keep it up when we return. Stick with us here on Peacock.
Family, thank you for your hard work and care. And we would also like to thank Taylor and Zach. You guys can stop by the ticketing tent next to the main gate for further details and to secure your group seats for the 26-27 upcoming season.
Throughout the 2025-26 season, Tampa Bay Sun FC has had 5 academy players, some local and some from outside the area, all working hard to develop their game and represent this club. Those players who relocated to pursue their goals were a part of our home state program, which plays a critical role. It connects them with local host families who provide a safe home and a strong, supportive environment during their time here in Tampa Bay. But this program is about more than just housing. It's about building relationships. Host families become mentors, role models, and a daily support system. Whether it's sharing meals, helping with routines, or simply being there after a long day. At this time, we'd like to recognize 2 of our outstanding host families. let's hear it for Chad and Jamie Bryan, who hosted Macy Tucker. And Jeff and Carla Adams, who hosted Braylon Galt. Thank you for opening your homes, providing a safe environment, and playing such an important role in these players' journeys.
Again for Soleil's Dance Party. It's the last one of the 26th season, at least this season. So Soleil and her squad have a whole bunch of goodies here. As you see, she's getting, I know, she's trying to get it all together. So here's the deal. We're going to split the bleachers into 3 sections, and whoever is dancing the best in that section, Soleil and the squad will take care of you with some goodies. So, you guys right here, from where I'm standing.
We're looking back to Tampa Bay, where at halftime in this Gainbridge Super League tussle, Dallas Trinity with a 2-0 advantage over Tampa Bay Sun. And it gives us a chance to take a look at our first half highlights and what a start it was for the Trinity, Brooke.
Samar Guidry coming out swinging up the right side of the pitch to put away a goal in the opening 2 minutes. We see just the control that Dallas has had in that midfield line, and it's because of the shape of Tampa Bay, only 2 midfielders, and it leaves opportunities like this one. Guidry with a strike from the right side.
It was a brilliant start, and then Dallas continued to build on that. You just get another look at this Guidry strike. It is picture perfect. There was no chance for McCamey. And then Dallas would just continue to push on. They had another chance through Hamid 12 minutes later.
Yeah, we just got done talking with Samar Guidry about both opportunities really looking similar. And here we see that opportunity for the goalkeeper, who is the save of the month player, just continuing to show heroics in net in Liz Beardsley. And now we see the second goal. Very similar to the one we saw from Samar Guidry. Lancaster with an absolute dart up that right side, really putting the pressure on Taylor Chisholm, who has struggled here in this first half.
She put her boot through that one to double the lead, and when you look at the halftime stats, everything favors Dallas at the moment. Possession, shots on goal, you name it, Dallas has an advantage.
Absolutely. Dallas just in complete control. Need to keep their foot on the gas. I wonder if we'll see maybe a change in shape from them to maybe add another player to the back line. We've seen them go to a 3-back often against Tampa Bay. And so what will Tampa Bay change at halftime? I think try and attack up the right side a little bit more and take advantage of that space. But we've seen the connection between Nacello and Jamona create opportunities, just not enough to get to the back of the net.
We'll see if that can change after the restart. As things stand now, we will take another breather here from Suncoast Credit Union Field when we return the second half from Tampa Bay in this key Gainbridge Super League battle. Stick with us on Peacock.
Danny, get you down. On action, get around, let's go. Let me hear those feet stomping in the bleachers right now. Let's get those feet rumbling.
We welcome you back to Tampa Bay, and before we kick off the second half in the Gainbridge Super League, it gives us a chance to ask you, why does academic medicine matter? Because at Tampa General, the best medicine starts with the best science, like our cutting-edge research that helped develop computerized devices to treat epilepsy and Parkinson's, restoring normal brain function and ending tremors. That's the academic difference every day at the region's only academic health system. Tampa General, other hospitals practice medicine. We define it. We are just about ready now to get the second half underway between Tampa Bay Sun and Dallas Trinity. A 2-0 advantage for Dallas Trinity, and we are hearing word that Tampa Bay Sun is making a change. Maddie Picorni in for Sabrina McNeil. That is a clear attack-minded swap, Brooke.
Yeah, especially given her background with racing Louisville. Only started 5 matches for Tampa Bay, but with some fresh legs, a little bit of a different look, as you mentioned, from an attacking perspective, what she can provide. And you see they want to give the ball to her quickly coming out of this halftime.
We are now back underway. Remember, if Dallas wins and Spokane loses tonight, Dallas Trinity will clinch the 4th and final playoff berth in the Gainbridge Super League. So plenty to play for over these final 45 minutes. Sam Goldfarb alongside Brooke Kirchhoffer bringing you the remainder of the action tonight. And that is your look at the clinching scenarios. You might want to stay with us on Peacock after this ends, because at 10:30, it's a huge fixture in the playoff chase after this one. Early on, Dallas looking to play out of trouble, and Straw on a heavy touch. Will lose out to Listro, who wins it cleanly. Helferty flips it over the top. There is space in behind now for Tampa. Off her line is McCamey, and she does win that foot race.
Helferty with a great touch forward, just a little bit too much on it, but it was the right angle that she wanted to be able to create this opportunity. And a bit of a jumble here. Not as physical as the match as we expected in the first half, but certainly been physical to start this second half between these two. Looks like Maya McCutcheon now, who is, we talk about physicality right after the break. I mean, she has been on a couple of really strong tackles in this opening minute of the second half.
You can expect them to be under fire a fair bit on the Dallas defense. This is Tampa's final home match of the year, and even though they're eliminated, you'd think they'll throw caution to the wind at this point.
They're still the reigning champs, and I think that means something, is they want to go out the right way regardless of the playoff scenario. Of course, they're on the outside looking in, but they would love nothing more than to disrupt Dallas's chances at attaining that 4th spot. But Tampa Bay's got some work to do.
That they do. They showed brighter moments, though, toward the end of the first. Shimkin is dispossessed here, though. Guidry lofting it the other way, and there's space now for Allie Thornton, who awaits reinforcements. Lancaster. Wisner. Here's Guidry. Arcs in across. Listro looking to navigate out of danger.
I think you would have liked to see Dallas be a little bit more advantageous. There was a huge disconnect between Tampa Bay's middle and back line. A ton of space for Dallas to play through and be more aggressive on their initial approach. But as soon as Tampa Bay got numbers back, Dallas tried a different approach, trying to come up the right side and attack that way, but well defended by Tampa Bay.
Offside flag is up against Shea Connors.
I think that's part 2 of Nathan Thackeray's mindset, is when you have a numbers advantage, that is when you go and be aggressive and attack and have that killer mentality when you're finally in that attacking third, and especially when you're outnumbering your opponent there in that position.
It is an interesting discussion about attacking philosophies, especially when you pivot to a side that's a little more vertical and goal-oriented. That can take time to play out of the more patient, methodical build-up approaches. And still see Dallas perhaps working through that a little, knowing when to increase the tempo and send numbers forward. Lancaster tries to play this wide to Hamid. Instead, it's cleared out of danger.
Dallas definitely has a lot of variety to their game because they do have a patient build out of the back at times when it's on and when it's necessary, especially on the road against Tampa Bay, and it's worked to their benefit.
Davison away there. Nasello.
Tampa Bay doing a much better job of positioning and eating up the space that Dallas was so effective in playing through in the first half. Tampa Bay putting a lot more pressure on them in their own half.
Here's Listro. Adventurous ball forward that time. Starting to see the likes of Nasello and company on the front line start to draw these Dallas center backs into action a little more. An obstacle we haven't really discussed too much when it comes to Tampa Bay and maybe the post-mortem on their season is relative to last year. The number of players that Denise Schulte-Brown has used and the amount of turnover in season that this side has had to grapple with is pretty remarkable. They've now featured a league-high 32 different players throughout the year, either by injury or the massive exodus versus entry of players they brought in the wintertime. It's made for a lot of turnover, and perhaps when you assess the season at the end of the day, that will play a role as to maybe why they never hit the heights they hit a year ago.
Well, and you see they're continuing to try to figure out which shape best suits this personnel with all of that changeover.
There's a low cross in that is right towards McCamey.
Again, we continue to see the shots from range from Tampa Bay. I think if you're Denise Schulte-Brown, part of the conversation is, can you be a little bit more clinical and get closer to the goal for better shot selection? Credit to Dallas, so they really haven't allowed Tampa Bay to get inside and close to that 6.
Been rather impenetrable through the middle, especially. But just back on that point, even this winter, 8 players brought in, 6 departures this winter, and couple that with the injuries and then some of the in-season additions they made in April as well, does at least make it a little more difficult to figure out, to your point, what the best formation is, who the best complements of personnel are, and that is definitely a issue that maybe inhibited their performance at times. Now, granted, if everything had gelled, we'd be raving about their depth and how tremendous that is. Nasello's chasing after this, cleared away by Davison. Nasello again. And this time clattered from behind and seems to be in a bit of pain after the fact.
Saw an awkward fall, clipped her right boot and led to a bit of a twist to that right knee that she's tending to now. You see just her ability, never giving up on the play. And you see Maya McCutcheon clips that right foot, and that will put her in the book for a yellow card. Definitely the right decision there.
Broke up a promising opportunity, and it is a physical challenge. That is the second yellow card issued to a Dallas player tonight. McCutcheon and Wisner walking the tightrope for the remainder of this one. Just wonder what Jordan Listro can conjure from this distance. Plenty waiting in the area. Taken short.
The referee has issued a
Helferty
yellow card to Dallas.
floats it in. It is dangerous, but the header was never clean. Just out of play from Taylor Chisholm.
Taylor Chisholm has some size on her at 5'9", an opportunity for an aerial presence, but it's not a good enough angle for her to get the power behind it that she wanted in the air.
It has appeared to be a decent start to this second half from Tampa, though.
Definitely a good adjustment in loading up those outside channels that Dallas was able to get forward through with ease in the first half. And that was something heading into this match that Denise Schulte-Brown wanted them to clog up, and just kept really stayed out of position for Tampa Bay. And it's because of the control we saw from Dallas start to finish. And when you can put away a goal in the first 2 minutes, it just unbalances your team, and you're just playing catch up until you can really reestablish the identity.
Not to mention, it eases the nerves of your visitors. Often in the first 15 minutes, teams might take time to settle in. They didn't need time to settle in because they were 1-0 up inside 2 minutes. And if we're not mistaken, it was the third fastest goal in Gainbridge Super League history.
I love what Samar Guidry had to say at halftime, that it's the training sessions leading to match day. What they see in these practice sessions during the week, it's finally coming to fruition, and a lot of players rallying behind her and Lancaster, knowing that the opportunities were eventually going to come, and in a big way now with an opportunity to clinch that 4th spot in the playoffs.
Tampa looking to make life difficult on Dallas down the stretch. This is Chisholm. Lancaster, one of 2 goal scorers for Dallas this evening, looking to switch the play. Meade can't catch up to it.
Once again, we're seeing Dallas with more numbers in the midfield, able to build from that middle line. Just didn't quite get enough over the back line for that opportunity on the left channel.
Nasello, this is where she's at her most dangerous. Dancing through traffic, cross deflected. Nasello sticking with it, but shooting it right at McCamey.
Creating her own shot, taking players one-on-one. What a nightmare as a defender, having to deal with her face up. It's just so tough. You see Sierra Hinton at least gets a touch on it to disrupt her, but she is still so effective out in space on both the left and right foot. Right place, right time there for Tyler McCamey for Dallas.
She was the Gainbridge Super League final MVP last season. An electric threat going forward. This season, 6 goals and 3 assists to her name. Tampa's top goal scorer. Top goal scorer on the pitch for either side as well. And we spoke a little bit about her playing history. Obviously, has played abroad since college before the Gainbridge Super League was established a couple years back, but also played for Denise Schulte-Brown at USF. Back-to-back American Athletic Conference Offensive Player of the Year, and someone that understandably her current and former college coach raves about. Helferty. High cross in. Davison with issues. Jamona was onto it, but a heavy touch took it right back into the center back's path.
Well done on the adjustment there from Hannah Davison. Ball got away from her just a bit too much, closed the space and cleaned it up on what could have been a really good opportunity for Tampa Bay to strike.
They've turned it over here, and Thornton has some space to run into now. Reinforcements arriving. Wisner, Lancaster, Wisner gets it back. It's saved, still loose and finally scuffled away. Miss Beardsley does the job. Guidry. Davison. Hamid. In there for that first time ball.
Unlucky, looking for Allie Thornton to come to the ball there. I think she was expecting to be chipped. You saw her run going diagonal out to the corner flag. Just a bit of miscommunication.
First real threat we've seen from Dallas this half, and it remains potent on the break. McCamey is well out of goal now and has turned it over. Connors just lost control of it.
And there's that higher press trigger that we had been waiting to see from Tampa Bay. That should be coming back. That was a foul on Shea Connors, who had an opportunity. Forward motion too.
Hamid looking for Guidry, who just gets in behind now and loses her footing. It's pure chaos, Brooke.
Well, Hamid will get the call, and unfortunately down in pain, but what a job Dallas has done in transition to split the fullback and center back on that left side of Tampa Bay's back line. It has just been on for Dallas tonight.
It must be said, it did look like Connors got fouled prior to that break, as you mentioned.
I thought Maya McCutcheon, it was a similar foul to what we saw.
Well, now Connors has been slipped in. This is Shea Connors, and it's saved by McCamey.
How about Hannah Davison too, applying the pressure, a quality and clean tackle to cut off the space. And well done, McCamey cleaning it up. Without Hannah Davison crashing that angle, that would have been an opportunity for Shea Connors to pull it back and attack McCamey a little bit differently, and could have given an opportunity for Tampa Bay.
Sets Tampa Bay up for their first corner kick of the match, which is presented by the Baldwin Group. The Baldwin Group is the proud presenting partner of the Tampa Bay Sun corner kicks. Protect what's possible. Their first corner of the match just at the hour mark. And it's Anna Helferty who stands over this. Outswinger. And it's dealt with confidently by Dallas. Listro.
Shea Connors was our player to watch for a reason. That speed and physicality on the front line is what they are looking for Tampa Bay.
She's someone who's played at a pretty high level abroad, played key minutes in the A-League, also as well as semi-pro action in Australia before returning to the U.S. Was an all-Big East selection at St. John's as a college player as well, and we've already seen her make an impact in her young Gainbridge Super League career. Scored on her debut in that eventual defeat against Carolina SN a couple weeks back.
I believe only her third match, right? Playing with Tampa Bay, and the chemistry is there.
You mentioned it earlier. Denise Schulte-Brown said she's the true number 9 we've been lacking all season. That's a late challenge.
That's a foul. Yeah, this is going to go in the book. That's a right call. Late from Hendricks.
Hamid is still down.
See, Hamid has her beat. Late tackle. I don't know if you'd call that a tactical foul either. I think that's maybe more a sign of frustration.
I was going to say, if it is a tactical foul, you've seeded a pretty appetizing free kick here. Another player in the book for Tampa, as you mentioned, Hendricks. So now she and Listro have to watch themselves for the remainder of this.
I'd imagine you're going to Allie Thornton here. Her aerial presence is striking on these set piece opportunities.
There's plenty in the box. And it is floated into the mix toward the back post, and Davison can't redirect it.
Back to our conversation about Shea Connors and looking for that true 9. You almost wonder with Tampa Bay, again, Denise Schulte-Brown said, well, we're going with 3 central forwards right now. Well, sometimes it can get jumbled there on that front line if you want them to be more inverted instead of going into those outside channels. But I think they've at least spread out and found the positioning now in the second half.
Starting to find a sense of cohesion now, Tampa. Guidry. To the edge of the area for Cheeseman. There's Hamid. Just ran into trouble.
Cameron Lassiter might have another goal in her tonight. She has been in the right place at the right time on these opportunities forward.
Corney wanted the run of Connors, just overhit it. especially with the way this is unfolding. So many counterattacking opportunities, and Lancaster's taken those opportunities with aplomb. Took her goal very well.
She is such a threat in stride too, but also quality with the ball at her feet, as we saw from that goal scoring moment. Just two absolute darts, the two goals that were scored for Dallas.
Near carbon copies of one another. Shimkin. Nicello. Back for Shimkin. Helferty in plenty of space now and has a crack. It's a quality save from McCamey, who read it the whole way.
Tampa Bay with a strike from distance. Helferty on that left foot, trying to sneak one into the inside post. As you mentioned, Tyler McCamey all over it.
She's been miraculous when called upon tonight.
Debuted in January with this side, 43 saves, 1 clean sheet, certainly on her way to another on the road in an impressive performance.
Tampa making more changes. It is Faith Weber, the Denver Summit loanee, who will replace Carly Gimona. That is a relatively like-for-like change on the front line.
Yeah, and let me be quick to say, not if Tampa Bay can help it. They want to upset this clean sheet opportunity for Dallas, and you get Faith Weber, who is coming off a goal scored off the bench their last time out against Fort Lauderdale.
You never want to get blanked in your final home match.
Of course not.
They're pushing on quite assertively here. Listro. Nicello. Inching toward the final 20 minutes from Suncoast Credit Union Field. As things stand, Dallas Trinity will put 1 foot in the playoffs. Still will rely on Spokane Zephyr to lose, but they'll do their part. Nicello goes down though, and the question is where this contact occurred. It appears our referee says it took place just outside the penalty box.
I think I might agree with Maya McCutcheon when we watch this one back. I don't think there's enough contact. I think she sold it well. She felt enough contact on her right side and decided to sell it, and pays off with an advantageous opportunity now just outside the box.
So this is an inviting set for a set piece. Helferty is one of the two in the vicinity. And if Tampa Bay is to carve out a roadmap back into this, you'd figure now would be as good a time as any to get on the board. It's driven low, but it's driven right at Wisner.
Yeah, you can tell they were looking for that second action off the wall there, but a solid clearance from Dallas.
Beardsley's well off her line for Tampa. Well, fans, the Gainbridge Super League playoffs are just a few weeks away, and we are tracking all of the possible scenarios. You can visit GainbridgeSuperLeague.com/newsletter to get updates on your favorite team and stories from around the league delivered directly to your inbox. Plenty of storylines unfolding in the run-in in the Gainbridge Super League. Can Dallas become the latest to clinch a playoff berth? Just one up for grabs in the final 2 weeks of the division. Sam Goldfarb, Brooke Kirchhoffer on hand. Brooke, obviously you've been around the league a fair bit this year. You know how all of these teams stack up. What would it mean for a team like Dallas, despite its adversity this spring, to still back into the playoffs?
Oh my goodness, it would be huge, especially for a first-time coach in this league, and Nathan Thackeray, who has really tried to establish a different identity in terms of how they attack, which is hard to do worked around the lineup, has tried players in different positions, and their receptiveness to it is the reason why they're in a position that they are right now, and still unlocking players. Samar Guidry and Cameron Lancaster, unbelievable strikes on frame that led to those 2 goals. So I think Dallas has a lot more to prove, but the unfortunate side is they're going to be entering the playoffs not at full strength. You want a Winnie Bellotta. You want some of these other players who have been out for quite some time as Stainbrook. You would love to see them be back. So a lot of question marks of who might be available in the playoffs for Dallas if they can get there.
I got a chance to see Bellotta in person in Charlotte against the Ascent. Probably the best player on the field that day.
To be honest with you, I think she's my favorite player to watch in this league because of her creativity. You never really know what you're going to get in these one-on-one opportunities. She has the pace, but also the creativity to just be such a nightmare for defenders.
Here's Hamid's cross in. It's skewed awkwardly from Strawn. Right back to Beardsley.
And even her combining with Chioma Obogugu, who we have not seen tonight yet. They haven't had to go to her. She came off the bench their last match. The 2 of them combining is impressive.
Well, asking you shall receive because Obogugu is getting set to enter as we speak.
As well as Bethany Boss, who is another player that Thackeray is saying, look, if you've got another gear to get to in the playoffs, we want you to be that player who can provide more goal-scoring opportunities. She has 2 so far with Dallas. What will she look like coming off the bench?
Before we see them, another corner presented by the Baldwin Group. It's taken short to Helferty, and Davison reads it to perfection. Now the whistle sounds. And there was a transgression committed by Tampa.
Substitutions for Dallas. Entering the match,
now you get the subs. So within a minute of you asking to see Chioma Obogugu, you get to see her on the pitch now.
She replaces number 17, Jasmine
Such a special player, and Bethany Boss behind her is really in prove-it mode, which is kind of what we heard with Jasmine Hamid's conversation with her head coach this week. Bethany Boss, though, is a player that they can lean on, and they can ask her directly to do something, and she does it. She is such a quality player and really a coach's dream at that position.
So it is Thornton and Hamid off, Boss and Obogugu on. Boss, obviously someone with experience in NWSL. She's best known for that time with Seattle Reign.
Yeah, great attributes in front of net. Quality finisher.
Did score as well last week in the draw against DC Power. That a match in which they opened the scoring but were pegged back later on and had to settle for a point. But that point might be enough to get them into the postseason if they can see this out. And DC can do them a favor later tonight.
Much better, speaking of that DC Power match, much better showing from Dallas, who has been in complete control. Head coach Nathan Thackeray told us, look, I'm never going to be one that says we didn't earn that point, that draw against DC Power, but he said DC Power was just the better team that night. So to get out at least with a point was a sigh of relief for them in a match they really felt they weren't strong.
Here's Nacello, starting to ask real questions of this back line and winning yet another corner for Tampa.
Yeah, she is putting Hannah Davison to work on that left side, as well as Maya McCutcheon as well. They've done a quality job in stifling their efforts.
That's without regular starter Lauren Flynn, who we've mentioned was a late scratch today. They have another corner kick to deal with, presented by the Baldwin Group.
I think that's somebody that they could get back should they be in the playoffs. Much needed time off for her today too, if they go to get that 4th spot.
Helferty arcs it in. Falls to the edge of the area for Picorni. Just floats it over the goal.
It's been a tough night for Tampa Bay in terms of the setup, and shot selection just has not been where they would like it to be. 7 shots, only 4 of them on target through this match so far.
You've spoken a lot about Dallas just being efficient and clinical in front of goal. I think that's the biggest point of difference in this match.
Well, and what we heard from Samar Guidry at halftime, clearly that's been an emphasis in training sessions, is to be stingy when they're in the final third and put quality touches on the ball when they get forward and to just go with an intention. That's definitely what we saw in the first half. Tampa Bay's done a better job of stifling those chances from Dallas here in the second half.
There's Bethany Boss's first touch. She continues her run forward, dances past one defender. Now a long-range hit from Cheeseman, and it is a corner for Dallas. You figure they won't be in a rush to take any of these from here on out. And it's a methodical jog from Cheeseman to the corner flag.
Just part of the game.
The dark arts is what they call it, right?
Clock as possible without making it too obvious.
How much can you toe the line without getting a yellow card is the question. Outswinger. Headed up in the air. Weber can't knock it clear, and this is fired over from Abogugu. Alfredi slow to get up.
Unlucky for Helfrey, just in the way of a clearance. Looks like she's okay, laughing as she's just catching her breath. Probably got the wind knocked out of her from her teammate with a strong clearance. Just unfortunately right in the way here. So you see Faith Weber trying to clear this, and some friendly fire, teammate just in the way.
Did her best Scott Sterling impression there, didn't she?
Saw that on Wednesday in my match called as well for the Gainbridge Super League, where sometimes it just happens.
She appears content to continue. They're just taking a quick look at her. Alfredi, one of the more experienced presences in this Tampa side, joining from Houston Dash after spending some time as a free agent. Signed with the club on April 2nd and making just her 5th appearance and 3rd start with Tampa Bay Sun. Denise Schulte-Brown optimistic about what she's provided the squad, the experience, as well as the quality. And despite being a listed fullback, has stepped into that center midfield role rather seamlessly. Well, Helfredi looks no worse for the wear, so positive news all around. When you look ahead for these two sides, Brooke, obviously there's still plenty to sort out in the remaining stages of this one. But for Tampa, they end the season away at Lexington. That's a fixture that could be pretty big for seeding, depending on what shakes out here. And then for Dallas, it's a question of whether or not that final day fixture at home against Fort Lauderdale carries playoff implications or not. There is now a player down for Dallas Trinity. Appears to be a cramp-related issue.
All eyes will be on that Spokane match, though, as Dallas has at least put one part of the puzzle together. Looks like they will leave Tampa Bay unless something crazy happens in the last 15 minutes here, but Dallas did their job and getting the win. They now just need some help from DC Power, so they know they're in if Spokane drops that match tonight.
And the reason that is, when you look at the table, sometimes that might look a little shocking, because if DC wins tonight, they're within a point of Dallas. Well, it's DC's final match of the season tonight, so that is why a DC victory would not only eliminate Spokane, but also would rule DC out of qualification for the playoffs. So it's kind of backwards. A week ago, they were playing in a 6-pointer against DC with inside positioning on the top 4 on the line, and tonight they're rooting for DC to win. It's amazing how much difference a week makes in this league. Here's Hinson. He now clips it forward, and that is beyond the reach for counterparts in behind. Obviously, we know about the threat that a side like Sporting Jacks poses, setting all of these records in the Gainbridge Super League this year. But if you had to pick a dark horse in the 4-team postseason, who would jump out to you?
Honestly, Carolina, if you go all the way back to the midseason break for the Gainbridge Super League, Carolina was so close to putting the pieces together. They were playing so well, they were just leaving opportunities out there because they could not finish the created chances. And so the biggest question was Carolina going to be able to put it all together? They added some quality pieces and really ran the table in the second half of the Gainbridge Super League season. So I would have said at the mid-break, Carolina was my dark horse, and now they have established positioning in this 4-man race to the playoffs. I'm excited to see what they will look like.
As of now they're 2-0 up at Beyond Bankert Field in Fort Lauderdale. So in the live table, they would actually overtake Lexington for that second spot. Granted, Lexington has a match in hand, and that could be important for hosting purposes in the semifinal. Of course, Tampa finished second after a strong conclusion to last season, and that was enough to host the final after Carolina's ascent got upended in the semis. So the importance of finishing second can't be understated either. Guidry. Lancaster. Back for Guidry. It's a low cross in. Not a clean enough touch to redirect it goalward. At this point, Dallas has taken the sting out of things.
Definitely in the driver's seat. You see that no reason to force it here, but continuing to create opportunities. You see some of the players coming off the bench, and Bethany Boss and Chioma Obogagu, quality players who on any given night can be starters, but it goes back to this new mindset mentality that head coach Nathan Thackeray has with this group, is that you are fighting for your starting job every single training session. And he said, of course, sometimes that doesn't go over well, but this group is in it for the competition and to be the best quality side night in and night out, and they've figured that out with this competition and training.
When speaking to him, you can really see and understand the top level experience he's had. Coached with North Carolina Courage for years on staff, of course was the interim at the tail end of last season as well, and not to mention he spent time with Houston Dynamo's academy and top college programs like the University of North Carolina. Someone with a goalkeeping background, but has clearly gleaned the habits of running a top tier entity or program during his previous stops, and he's translated that to the Gainbridge Super League. Tampa now readying a double change. We are hearing that it is both midfielders, Listro and Helferty, that will exit. Guidry looking for an angle to shoot and nearly picked out the bottom left.
Oh, it was there for Guidry, and you wonder if Sealy Strawn just stuck a boot out. Could have been an opportunity for a deflection and third goal.
For Tampa. Entering the match, number 3, Gabby Provenzano. She replaces
double change, Provenzano and Gaillard in, Jordan Listro and Anna Helferty out. 2 like-for-like changes in the center of midfield. But how about that chance moments ago? Guidry just dragging it wide.
Lancaster keeping it alive and keeping her head on a swivel, seeing Guidry out to the right channel. An opportunity for a back post touch here as you see the runners in. Man, and Sealy Strawn was so close to just being able to put a touch on it.
That would have wrapped it up effectively. There's still life for Tampa, but it is dwindling rapidly with the clock. Gaillard. First time ball forward. Connors is in and has a pop. just rolls wide, and it did take a touch out for a corner. And Shay Connors has continued to make a menace of herself in the final third.
Gets a quality touch on it. Really didn't have much of an angle to put a better strike on it than that one, and it at least will result in a set piece.
It is yet another corner kick presented by the Baldwin Group. It's another outswinger as well. This has more altitude, but Weber heads it over. No real trouble for McCamey between the sticks.
Man, Faith Weber couldn't have asked for a better ball in, too. I just don't think she got up and over it quickly enough, but a great touch.
Well, another player down. And Dallas is now preparing another change. Lexi Missimo is preparing to enter. And we're hearing that Sealy Strawn's night will come to a conclusion.
Massimo, another goal scorer. I mean, when you look at Dallas's roster, they have the ability to put quality talent in on that front and middle line who can create. Massimo with 2 goals this season, 1 assist.
Someone who did suffer a season-ending injury just 5 matches into her debut campaign last spring. Still looking to find that elite goal-scoring form, but how about her career at Texas?
Unbelievable.
Was the first American-born player to post more than 50 goals and more than 60 assists in a college career since 2012.
They could use her. I don't know if you saw how the season went for Texas last year. Certainly not the product we typically see out of Austin. They are missing her, but still building her professional career and what it could look like now in the playoffs if Spokane were to fall to DC Power coming up tonight.
She actually replaces Lancaster, so Strawn will remain on the pitch. When you look at the bevy of attacking talent, for all the conversation we've had about Dallas being depleted in their holding midfield positions, starting center backs out of position there, they do have a wealth of top-tier goal-scoring talents in that front 4, if you will. And it just poses the question that if they can get into the playoffs, could one of those players just be the difference maker in an upset of a Jacksonville or a Lexington?
Well, it can only help when you can count on several different players to be that finisher when you need it most. And a great job to Nathan Thackeray coming in at the break and just doing a quality job in building this roster. And even you got a lot of players too, or a little bit younger, who are still growing their game. Sealy Strawn, I'm excited to see what she continues to mold and grow into.
Time running out rapidly on Tampa Bay Sun. Just 3 minutes in stoppage time separate Dallas from a critical victory in the playoff chase. We're hearing that Caroline Swan is getting ready to enter for Sydney Cheeseman.
Speaking of developing talent, just 16 years old, but they've got a lot of belief in Swan.
Weber goes down in the box. The referee is unmoved.
I didn't see any contact. I think the right call there by the referee.
I would agree with you. Bogagu is racing the opposite direction now. And dances past one defender. Shimkin finally drags her down. Well, fans, at Bellevue University, your success is the only thing that matters. That's why they offer education that's designed to help you achieve your next goal. Find more at degrees.bellevue.edu/goals. Caroline Swan does enter for Sydney Cheeseman. Swan did start back-to-back matches in midfield. Nathan Thackeray says at times there are still moments where he feels she needs to clean things up before she's ready to consistently play at this level, but at just 16 years of age, she is someone that they have very high hopes for.
A couple of those things just need to work on positioning and timing of the angle she takes defensively, but all things that are easy to work on and communicate in training sessions. They're excited about her upside at just, as you mentioned, 16 years old.
Her first action comes amidst a set piece, and Missimo is one of the two standing over it.
Very strong, too, as we heard from
Massimo hooks it in.
As we heard from Thackeray, she is not a 1v1.
Here's a quick turn. It's still loose, and no one there to tap it in at the far post.
So close for Sealy Strawn, and to hear that outside of Amber Wisner, no one kicks harder than her on the team. I mean, look at this roster. There's a lot of quality players who have certainly have the strength, and at 16, Caroline Swan is that 1v1 nightmare.
Product of Solar Soccer Club in the Dallas area, which is pretty
familiar with that one.
Yeah, I was going to say it's
a
pretty
rival
well-known
club for Texas Rush at the time.
How much success did you have when you played against them?
Oh man, I'd be lying to you if I told you. I can't remember that far back, but it certainly made for some fun matches.
In swinger from a Bogagoo, punched away. Shimkin lashes at it. Solar is a top-level club in the Texas area.
Definitely one of their traits, though, the physicality, and makes sense why we hear from Nathan Thackeray the physical side of Caroline Swan, just a strong player in those duels.
Boss. A Bogagoo. Taking on Bissett is 1v4. Maybe an ill-advised crack. Massimo.
The fourth official has indicated there will be a minimum of 5 minutes.
5 minutes of added time separate Dallas from a major step toward the playoffs.
If you're Dallas, just finish this out mistake-free. You have controlled this match. I mean, when you look at the possession rate, it really speaks for itself, and the total passes, almost 500 total passes to just over 300 for Tampa Bay. Dallas just in complete control and established it early on, and now have been able to sit back. Really, I would say once we hit the 70-minute mark, Dallas has been able to sit back and just continue to have quality play.
Marcelo chasing after this. Had it knocked behind, and one final Baldwin group corner kick at least before the night is out.
Maya McCutcheon, give her the MVP of the match in terms of the defensive side of things, has shut down Nacello on that side.
It's taken short. A high ball in. McCutcheon heads away. Massimo can't get there, but Swan does. And Massimo in plenty of space. Massimo driving forward, past one, but right into the path of Brooke Hendricks, who cleans it up.
Unlucky. She had the open channel on that right side. If she just would have checked her shoulder, she would have seen Hendricks barreling down her left side, and it'll stay in a really advantageous spot for Dallas, but an opportunity goes by the wayside for Massimo.
She could have wrapped it up and bagged a third goal of the season in one fell swoop. Instead, just 3 more minutes to weather for Dallas as they look to nudge themselves closer to the playoffs. I think at this point, it is just about draining what little remains of the clock. A Bogagoo. Dispossessed at the corner flag. Here's Massimo. He's turning away from trouble. The Bogagoo. Let's give it away. Nacello sprinting the opposite way. Final 90 seconds of the added 5. It would take a minor miracle for Tampa to salvage something now. And the road back has become that much more narrow for Tampa now. Final minute of the added 5, and it all seems academic now. Dallas, as things stand, is looking to keep its first clean sheet since March 8th. That was a 1-0 victory over Lexington, away from home. This will be a monumental time for just their 7th clean sheet of the year. It's likely the final sojourn forward for either side. Nasello dispossessed. And away from Davison. And there is the full-time whistle. Domination from Dallas in the opening 45, and they see it over the line to claim a critical 3 points in the playoff chase. Brooke gets 2 goals in the opening 30 that make the difference.
Dallas knew this was a winnable game. They wanted to lean into the situation and embrace the pressure, put their head down to get into the playoffs. That's been the consistent message to the group, and they got the first part of it done with the victory over Tampa Bay. Now they need some help from DC Power to beat Spokane tonight, but what an effort we saw from Dallas Trinity in terms of just controlling the match start to finish. Tampa Bay had opportunities. Maya McCutcheon, absolutely MVP of this match on the defensive side of things, shutting it down. And I'm excited to see, I hope to see Dallas Trinity at this point continue to move on, because there are so many options that they can place on that front line. There are so many different goal scorers. Excited to see Samar Guidry and as well as Cameron Lancaster continue to play after this one.
Well, at full time, it finishes 2-0 to Dallas Trinity. With a DC victory tonight, they return to the playoffs for the 2nd straight year. We'll take a quick breather on Peacock when we return to look back at the 90 minutes that just transpired.
Give it up for Suncoast Credit Union and your Tampa Bay Sun. Seminole Hard Rock Hotel and Casino Tampa is the proud entertainment partner of the Tampa Bay Sun. Anyone can win at Seminole Hard Rock Hotel and Casino Tampa.
Fans, make sure you tune in to Peacock to catch all of your Gainbridge Super League games. Our next home match will be right here at Suncoast Credit Union in the fall. Make sure to look out for the new schedule soon on TampaBaySunFC.com. We catch all home and away games on Peacock. Tonight we welcome our participants for post-match penalty kicks. Florida Premier Hernando 2018 girls. And Sun Nation, as we wrap up our final home match of the season, we just want to say thank you. Thank you for your passion, your energy, and showing up for this club all season long. You are what makes this team so special. Thank you to our partners. With your support, you help make this experience incredible for our Sun fans.
Yes, I can hear you now. Yes, I can hear you.
Look out for events throughout the summer to support FIFA World Cup. And we cannot wait to see you back here in the fall. Until then, keep shining, Sun Nation, and good night. Get home safe.
We are back here in Tampa Bay, where at full time, Dallas Trinity clinches a crucial 3 points in their quest for a second consecutive playoff berth. Sam Goldfarb, Brooke Kirchhofer on hand, and we have a star of the back line, Maya McCutcheon, here with us. Pitch side, Maya, congratulations. Your team's first clean sheet since March 8th. What was the key behind this clean sheet tonight?
Yeah, we just wanted to come out with a lot of confidence. We had some changes in our lineup, and we just, relied on those people to step up and just wanted to really communicate throughout the whole game. And we knew it was going to be a 90-minute game because this is a good team that knows how to find goals throughout the course of the game. So we were just wanting to stay locked in the whole 90 minutes.
Well, Maya, you stepped up and were locked in. Absolute quality play up that left side, just stifling any efforts, which is not an easy task with Sydney Nasello and Carly Jamona trying to combine on that side. What have you seen just from the back line, having to piece together new players because of injuries, why you guys have been so successful amid all these injuries?
Yeah, I think we just have a really competitive environment, from the girls that aren't traveling to the girls that normally don't get minutes to be able to step in. Hannah's a great example of that. She had to step up this game, and everyone just brings their all every week. And so when moments like this happen, she was ready, and she was a big part of why I was able to make certain tackles tonight. And I feel like we've just done that as a team this whole season.
You get one piece of the puzzle done with the victory. Now you need Spokane to lose tonight. Why should all eyes be on Dallas Trinity to be that fourth team in the playoffs? What makes you guys dangerous?
I think we've played well. We've had consistent performances, and we've just struggled finding the back of the net and having clean sheets. And our performance tonight, I think, is very promising, and you just want that right momentum going into playoffs. So I feel like when we get that timing right, no one can really hang with us. So I just hope we keep performing like the way we did tonight for the playoff push.
Well, Maya, multiple goals and a clean sheet tonight. You guys do the job. Congratulations on a tremendous performance.
Yes, thank you so much.
Thanks, Maya.
Well, that was a tremendous display from Dallas Trinity, and let's get a look back at how it all unfolded, Brooke. They started fast with the third fastest goal in league history.
Well, she talked about the quality build from this group and just how well connected they were, and you see they just were so effective in splitting defenders. A quality strike from the outside from Samar Guidry. Look at the way she sets herself up with this angle, gets her eyes up just enough time to hit that back post, and Lancaster was not far behind her. More of a 1v1 opportunity here for Cameron Lassiter in the 27th minute. Here you see taking on Chisholm up that left side of the pitch for Tampa Bay, puts her on skates and finds the back of the net. Such an impressive performance from their front line tonight.
Fourth goal of the season for Lancaster to double the lead, and that was enough to power Dallas Trinity over the line. In the second half, there were moments for Dallas to take a 3-0 advantage. They just couldn't convert on that third goal to put it to bed.
Big opportunity here for Allie Thornton to just find a way through their back line to send that one home. Just didn't have a good enough angle. And then later on, we continued to see the dominance of Maya McCutcheon cutting off the angle, and Tyler McCamey, 5 saves tonight. We could also give her MVP from the defensive side of things, the communication to keep her back line, a lot of new faces in the right positioning. Really, it was a tough night for Tampa Bay in terms of shot selection because of the positioning Dallas was in defensively.
You look at the full-time stats, and it was largely dominated by Dallas. The shot numbers, the gap narrowed between Tampa and Dallas in the second half, but all in all, it was a convincing display from the Trinity.
A lot of shots from range, too, from Tampa Bay. For Dallas Trinity, they were so clinical in their attempt in the attacking third. 7 shots on target. A lot of things to build off of, like we heard from Maya McCutcheon. They finally got those pieces to fall together, and at the right time. Now, hopefully for them, they want to be in the playoffs and continue to build off of a performance like this one.
All eyes will be on the DC Power Spokane Zephyr match at 10:30 on Peacock. If DC wins, Dallas Trinity is the 4th and final team into the postseason. And you see it on your screen now, the clinching scenario. They've already won, so now they just need Spokane to fall to DC Power. DC's fate is now sealed. They've been eliminated from playoff contention. In terms of how things reflect now in the Gainbridge Super League table, Dallas Trinity 4 points clear of their next challenger. What you're going to see in a moment is that DC's season comes to an end tonight. So even if DC wins, they won't be able to make up the required 4 points. If Spokane wins, then they are still alive. Or even if they draw, they're still alive in the playoff chase.
And when you look back at the season, the fixtures between DC and Spokane, I mean, these have been some fun matches to watch. Spokane playing with everything on the line. It'll be a fun one to watch tonight.
We will see how that unfolds in that crucial tussle later on the evening. But for us here, that'll do it. It's a 2-0 victory for Dallas Trinity to put 1 foot in the 25-26 Gainbridge Super League playoffs. For our terrific crew and my broadcast partner, Brooke Kirchhoffer, I'm Sam Goldfarb saying so long from Suncoast Credit Union Field, where it finishes Dallas 2, Tampa Bay Sun 0. Have a great rest of your night, everyone. From Tampa Bay, signing off.
This copyrighted telecast of the United Soccer League cannot be retransmitted, rebroadcast, or reproduced without the express written consent of the United Soccer League.
Into this fixture.
And as we heard from Dakare, that Hannah Davidson and Sydney Cheeseman, we might see them interchange depending how this
into this fixture.
And as we heard from Dakare, that Hannah Davidson and Sydney Cheeseman, we might see them interchange depending how this kind of unfolds, how they play against this Tampa Bay Sun lineup. We could see them switch positions too.
Well, they play this forward here, and it's an early chance that's taken by Dallas. It's a sensational start, and the Trinity lead inside 2 minutes.
Dallas wasting no time getting on the board within the opening 2 minutes. And this is that through ball that Dallas has been looking for. And it is Samar Guidry who beats Mitchell up that right side.
Goal scored by number 18,
beautiful ball to that back post.
minute.
Beardsley, who's coming off a save of the month type of performance. And Guidry makes her pay.
There was no chance there into this fixture.
And as we heard from Dakare, that Hannah Davidson and Sydney Cheeseman, we might see them interchange depending how this kind of unfolds, how they play against this Tampa Bay Sun lineup. We could see them switch positions too.
Well, they play this forward here, and it's an early chance that's taken by Dallas. It's a sensational start, and the Trinity lead inside 2 minutes.
Dallas wasting no time getting on the board within the opening 2 minutes. And this is that through ball that Dallas has been looking for, and it is Samar Guidry who beats Mitchell up that right side.
Goal scored by number 18,
Beautiful ball to that back post.
Minute.
Beardsley, who's coming off a save of the month type of performance, and Guidry makes her pay.
There was no chance there into this fixture.
And as we heard from Dacare, that Hannah Davidson and Sydney Cheeseman, we might see them interchange depending how this kind of unfolds, how they play against this Tampa Bay Sun lineup. We could see them switch positions too.
Well, they play this forward here, and it's an early chance that's taken by Dallas. It's a sensational start, and the Trinity lead inside 2 minutes.
Dallas wasting no time getting on the board within the opening 2 minutes, and this is that through ball that Dallas has been looking for, and it is Samar Guidry who beats Mitchell up that right side.
Dallas goal scored by number 18,
Beautiful
Samar
ball to
Guidry
that back
in the
post.
second minute.
Beardsley, who's coming off a save of the month type of performance, and Guidry makes her pay.
There was no chance there into this fixture.
And as we heard from Dacare, that Hannah Davidson and Sydney Cheeseman, we might see them interchange depending how this kind of unfolds, how they play against this Tampa Bay Sun lineup. We could see them switch positions too.
Well, they play this forward here, and it's an early chance that's taken by Dallas. It's a sensational start, and the Trinity lead inside 2 minutes.
Dallas wasting no time getting on the board within the opening 2 minutes, and this is that through ball that Dallas has been looking for, and it is Samar Guidry who beats Mitchell up that right side.
Dallas goal scored by number 18,
Beautiful
Samar
ball
Guidry
to that
in
back
the second
post.
minute.
Beardsley, who's coming off a save of the month type of performance, and Guidry makes her pay.
There was no chance there. Strawn looks to send Lancaster rushing the other way. Cameron Lancaster looking for an angle to shoot, and rustles the back of the net. Dallas doubling the lead on 27 minutes, and Cameron Lancaster is the woman who strikes the back of the net.
Do I have deja vu? Because that looked exactly like Samar Guidry's opportunity in that opening minute, and now Cam Lancaster takes a page out of her teammate's book, and you see Jasmine Hamid celebrating on that left side. A great cut to the right to offset and unbalance the defender, and just a beautiful strike on the ball once again to that back post, really leaving Tampa Bay's goalkeeper without much to do. Liz Beardsley giving up really the same goal twice, and not much you can do on that one. It was just perfectly placed to that back post.
Strawn looks to send Lancaster rushing the other way. Cameron Lancaster looking for an angle to shoot, and rustles the back of the net. Dallas doubling the lead on 27 minutes, and Cameron Lancaster is the woman who strikes the back of the net.
Do I have deja vu? Because that looked exactly like Samar Guidry's opportunity in that opening minute, and now Cam Lancaster takes a page out of her teammate's book, and you see Jasmine Hamid celebrating on that left side. A great cut to the right to offset and unbalance the defender, and just a beautiful strike on the ball once again to that back post, really leaving Tampa Bay's goalkeeper without much to do. Liz Beardsley giving up really the same goal twice, and not much you can do on that one. It was just perfectly placed to that back post.
Strawn looks to send Lancaster rushing the other way. Cameron Lancaster looking for an angle to shoot, and rustles the back of the net. Dallas doubling the lead on 27 minutes, and Cameron Lancaster is the woman who strikes the back of the net.
Do I have deja vu? Because that looked exactly like Samar Guidry's opportunity in that opening minute, and now Cam Lancaster takes a page out of her teammate's book, and you see Jasmine Hamid celebrating on that left side. A great cut to the right to offset and unbalance the defender, and just a beautiful strike on the ball once again to that back post, really leaving Tampa Bay's goalkeeper without much to do. Liz Beardsley giving up really the same goal twice, and not much you can do on that one. It was just perfectly placed to that back post.
Strawn looks to send Lancaster rushing the other way. Cameron Lancaster looking for an angle to shoot, and rustles the back of the net. Dallas doubling the lead on 27 minutes, and Cameron Lancaster is the woman who strikes the back of the net.
Do I have deja vu? Because that looked exactly like Samar Guidry's opportunity in that opening